Hey guys, how are you? Welcome into a Friday morning edition of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You can find me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. You can follow BettingPros on Twitter at BettingProsNFL. We are here on YouTube and across every audio platform you could ever imagine. Every single morning being brought to you by BetMGM with that $20 to win $100 on any event with that promo code JUICE100 at BetMGM or the BetMGM app. Promo code JUICE100. And you guys can always see that offer on YouTube. Now, speaking of YouTube, we have a new little arrangement for you guys here for the Daily Juice. Now, you guys know we're giving away a Magic Johnson autograph signed jersey this month. However, here is an interesting little twist. If you are a subscriber to the YouTube channel, you will triple your entries into the contest. Okay? So if you are subscribed to the BettingPros YouTube channel, that will count as 3 additional entries into the contest, okay? So we're trying to really, I don't know what our goal is, but I know when we started doing the videos on YouTube, we had like 100 subscribers. I think we're over 4,000 now. So we've definitely grown the YouTube channel, but now we need to get even more because we're going to have more video. I'm starting a brand new podcast that I'm going to tell you about here in just one second because it's going to tape on Monday. It's going to tape. I'll tell you about it here in a second. And we've got a lot of really cool things coming on the YouTube channel. So if you want to win the Magic Johnson autograph signed jersey, make sure you are also a subscriber to the Daily Juice, the Betting Pros YouTube channel. Okay? Go to YouTube, search Betting Pros, hit subscribe, and if you're a subscriber, that will triple your entries to win the Magic Johnson autographed signed jersey. It's pretty darn cool, okay? So do that. If you've already entered the review on Apple or Stitcher, you're already in, you're good to go, but you need to do that one more thing. If you left a review, now go and subscribe to YouTube, and you could triple your entries and potentially win an autographed Magic Johnson signed jersey. How cool is that? Okay, let's talk about the new podcast. A bunch of you guys have asked me questions about it. It is called The Sharps Report, okay? The Sharps Report with Matt Perrault will drop in your audio feed every Wednesday. It will tape on Monday or Tuesday. It'll drop on Wednesday. This is not going to be a picks podcast, okay? This is going to be long-form conversations with a variety of people in and around the sports gambling industry. Now, the term sharp, well, that's always debatable, right? Sharps, to me, are people that I respect, I trust, and I learn. Whenever they speak, I learn something. And I have looked up to the first guest of the Sharps Report for a long time. Todd Fuhrman of Fox Sports, CBS, and his own podcast, which is Betting the Board, which is just tremendous. He is an incredible individual. He is a guy who has a tremendous reputation, and I cannot wait for him to be the first ever guest for the Sharps Report. Now, we're going to have bookmakers, guys behind the counter. We're going to have media members. We're going to have professional sports gamblers. We're going to have a variety of people. Yes, Captain Jack Andrews will be coming back very quickly. He will be back. But new people who I haven't had on the podcast before will be. So the Daily Juice will just be a 15-minute podcast. We had talked a lot about adding in an interview segment to the Daily Juice, and I just didn't want to do it. And I felt like, look, we've made a promise to you guys about how long this podcast is, and so I had to kind of fight for this a little bit. So I really hope you guys will support this podcast because it's a little bit of a passion project for me because they just said, well, why don't you just put a guest on the Daily Juice? And I was like, no, we have told people that it's a 15-minute podcast, and sure, I go long sometimes, but it's no more than like 20 or 22 minutes. So that's the agreement I've got with you in the audience. This is a shorter podcast. If I start adding, it just bogs it down. It changes what we've done and what we've promised to you guys every morning for the Daily Juice. So if you like long form, if you have a long commute or you go, once a week, you drive to your girlfriend's house somewhere or whatever, your wife, sends you on errands, whatever it may be, this will be a 45 to 1 hour podcast every week that will drop on July the 14th with Todd Fuhrman from Fox Sports being the first ever guest on the Sharps Report by BettingPros.com with me, your host, Matt Perrault. All right, so we had some cool things happen yesterday. Went to the Conor McGregor-Dustin Poirier press conference, and who did I bump into but our very own Bear Maulings. Now, Bear is one of our admins on the Discord channel. He lives here in Vegas, works at a casino here in Vegas. He was at the press conference with he was there for the open seating, and it was as you would expect. It was crazy. I hadn't been to one of those in a really long time, and I'm not going to lie to you, it did feel weird, and it also felt weird because of what's happening here in Nevada. Our numbers for COVID are not good. Now, if you're vaccinated, I'm wearing one of these wristbands. I have to wear it. It'll be on tonight, tomorrow. It'll be on every night when I tape. The UFC has given me this wristband that I cannot take off because I am vaccinated. So this is for people who are not vaccinated, but it is a little bit of a concern here in Vegas because our hospitalizations are going up and we've got a couple different variants running around. This is not good. So, I was wearing a mask. I was one of the few media members wearing a mask, and I was like, look, I'm vaccinated, but I'm not taking any chances here with what's going on. Tyson Fury tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday. So did 3 members of his camp testing positive for COVID. He had one shot, not both shots, so he was not fully vaccinated. And now that fight that was supposed to happen in July will happen in October, it looks like, for Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. The hook is my gym has a couple of fighters from Top Rank who train in that same gym as Tyson Fury. So, there's, the Kevin Bacon 6 degrees of separation. There's some concern there that, people who are at Tyson's gym who also come to my gym, that's how COVID spreads, right? So I'm wearing a mask, and I'm just trying to be as safe as possible right now, and I'm really fired up to have the chance to go to a sporting event, but a lot of people not wearing masks at that event, and so it was a little bit of a nerve-wracking thing for that reason. But, here we are. We're going to have that fight. I don't know what to do. And Bear Maulings and I were talking about this after we were sitting down and kind of talking about how to bet this fight. I'm perplexed. I'm confused as to what I want to do with Conor and Dustin. My head is telling me bet Dustin Poirier. Lay the minus 125, minus 130, and Dustin Poirier wins. My head is also telling me to take a flyer on Poirier to submit Conor. That's why Conor was talking about the first one to shoot is a Dusty B, is because I think Conor knows, too, that Poirier is going to grapple and potentially take Conor down. And we know what happens when Conor goes to the ground, goes to the mat. It normally ends in very quick fashion for Conor. And then a part of me is like, man, I get plus money on Conor McGregor. And the public's going to be all over this. They're going to be hammering Conor. But Conor's got that one-punch knockout power, so maybe you just take the under. And maybe the under is the right bet in that fight because it's tough to say who wins, but maybe it's over early, and so you just take the under. Or maybe you take an alternative under. Maybe you try under 3.5 rounds or something like that. Or maybe you take the fight to start the 3rd round. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going to happen for this fight between now and the time that I tape the Daily Juice tomorrow as to how I get my brain around what to do for UFC 264. I'm really confused at the moment as to what I'm going to bet and what I'm going to pick for the fight. I cannot wait to be there. Cannot wait to watch it. But it was great seeing Bear Maulings. Great to meet him in the wild, as I said on the Discord channel. But it's always great to meet up with Daily Juice guys. And we're going to do something. Him and I were talking about how do we get people together here in Vegas and how do we do something here for you guys if you want to come out and you want to. I think everybody's like, whoa, when they see pictures of what they think someone looks like and then what they really do look like. I think it would be really cool because right now so many people are just handles, right? Or it's Cold Brewster or D Nizzy and some of the more famous people who are on the Discord channel who have a following and people are loving to see their picks and plays. And, congrats. D Nizzy was all over the Suns yesterday and I was not. I was on the Bucks. And I got Giannis right to go over 26.5 points, but the under should have hit. And I don't mind losing bets when I feel like I'm on the right side and a bunch of crazy things happened. I saw a bunch of people that I respect in the betting industry. We all were on the same side. We all looked at the under. We all thought that was the play, and we all lost. But sometimes when you read the game right and something fluky happens and that weird turnover by Chris Paul and it was an odd 3 minutes at the end of that game that caused it to go over that, okay, I'm fine. I mean, game 1, favorite in the over. Game 2, favorite in the over. The public is doing very well, and I told you about 3 days ago that the public was due to have a couple of really good run, and this is the start of it. I mean, right now the public's hot, and Does that mean game 3 you ride with the Suns again? I don't know. The Suns are catching catching points in game 3, and I'll be very curious to see if the Suns were to go off as a favorite. A part of me feels like the Bucks are going to be home dogs, and home dogs in the playoffs have been very profitable. So we'll see what happens on Sunday. We got a while. We have an extra day. Game 3's on Sunday now, not on Saturday. It's on Sunday for game 3. So, but it's a lot of time. My spidey sense is going off that the Bucks are going to be home dogs for game 3. But we'll have more on that a little bit later on. But the under was a bummer, and then the money line sprinkle. It's fine to lose that. I wanted the 5.5. Unfortunately, that didn't come through either. So, step backwards. And so today it's a Friday. And so since it's a Friday, we are going to have the parlay for you guys, 3 legs, and I'm all about offense today. All right, so I bet the under yesterday, and it did not come through, and now I don't want to be sweating baseball unders. It's all there really is to bet on besides the UFC coming up, and tomorrow's going to be an entirely UFC card, so I don't want to do any picks. I thought about breaking it up and giving some picks today and some picks tomorrow. I'm like, you know what? No, let's just do an entire UFC card tomorrow. We have the entire day to bet on it. The card's at night, so there's no real, rush to get it out there. You're not going to miss a number, really, So I don't feel bad about. I'm not angry about holding on to everything until tomorrow. So 2 baseball plays. You know how I am with baseball. You want to fade these bets, go right ahead. I've got 2 bets, both of it at a half a unit. Like hell, I'm going whole unit with baseball with the way I'm betting right now. And with how cold I've been, there's no way, absolutely no way I am betting a full unit on baseball right now. But I got 2 plays that I'll give you here in just 1 second. But first, let's talk about the parlay. The Don't Bet a Parlay. We are 5-19 on this overall. We are still way up on this. If you were betting $100 in every one of these bets, don't bet $100 on all these bets. But I got a 3-legger that is plus 364. Okay, so what I did with this is I wanted to look for offense. So I looked for games that had starting pitchers that could get touched up with teams that have done very well in terms of their record to the over. Okay, so let's start the first play, Angels and the Mariners. So the Angels are the second best team in Major League Baseball to the over. 51-34-1. That is 60% of the time games for the Angels are going over. They're playing the Seattle Mariners, who are 45-40-3. That's over 52.9% of the time. I'm not worried so much about the starting pitchers. Okay, so you can break it down like that and go, well, wait, all right, you get real into the weeds and say where they're going to be with a starting pitcher. But Alex Cobb and Marco Gonzalez, I'm not saying this is a phenomenal pitching staff or pitching matchup to go to the over, but I think there's a chance here. You got a guy with a 4.6 ERA in Cobb and 5.82 ERA with Marco Gonzalez. So that's play number 1. We are going over 8.5 runs for the game for the Angels and the Mariners at minus 110. The Royals and the Indians. Again, when you go back and look at teams that score a lot to the over, the Indians or Cleveland, 48-34-3. That's 4th best in Major League Baseball, 58.5% of the time to the over. They will play Kansas City, who's 42-38-7 to the over. That's 52.5% to the over. So we're going to go ahead and come in here and play the over for Kansas City and Cleveland. And this is a matchup of Charlie Morton and Zach Thompson. It's okay. It's not, I wouldn't say it's 2 lights-out pitchers, but Thompson's pretty good. 2-2 with a 2.25 ERA. Morton 7-3 with a 3.91. Sorry, no, that's wrong. Sorry, whoops, that's the wrong pitcher. That's the Braves. Hold on, I clicked on the wrong one. We're going Kansas City and Cleveland. So Brad Keller is going. Keller's garbage. 6.39. And McKenzie going, and Tristan McKenzie for the Indians, he's 1-3 with a 6.38 ERA. So we're going over there, minus 106 to the over, 9.5 runs for Kansas City and Cleveland. And then the other is over 10.5 runs for the White Sox and the Orioles here. And the White Sox facing one of the worst pitchers in all of baseball, and Jorge Lopez, George Lopez, whatever you want to call him. Jorge Lopez is 2-11 with an ERA that is sky high of 6.02. The thing that's really wild about Lopez, His last 3 starts or 4 starts, exit velocity has been 93 miles per hour, 91 miles per hour, 97 miles per hour, and 92 miles per hour. He's getting hit hard. He's given up 4, 5, 2, and 5 earned runs. Runs overall is 4, 5, 2, and 5 as well over his last 4 starts. So he's been hit pretty hard. Dallas Keuchel going for the White Sox. Equally, exit velo has not been great, but last start, 91.4 miles per hour. Detroit hit him really hard. 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 1 home run, 3 walks. The time before that, he gave up 6 hits, 2 earned, then 7 hits, 6 runs, 3 earned against the Tampa Bay Rays. He wasn't bad. 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs for Dallas Keuchel, but the exit velo has been pretty low. 91, 87, 83, 88 for Dallas Keuchel. But I'm going to play the over here because I think it's in Baltimore. It's a Friday night. It's warm. And the Baltimore Orioles, 44, 39, and 3 to the over. That's 53% of the time that has gone over there. Chi Sox are okay. 41, 43, and 2. That's actually, they're underwater on that, 48.8%. But again, the pitching matchup here, I think White Sox bats come to life here, and the White Sox bats get a lot of runs in. Orioles as well. So it's over 10.5 runs. White Sox and the Orioles at minus 102. That is a plus 634 parlay. 3 legs. It qualifies for the plus. It has to be more than 600 plus 600. Over 8.5 Angels Mariners. Over 9.5 Royals Indians. And over 10.5 White Sox and the Orioles is the don't bet a parlay parlay. The 5 and 19 don't bet a parlay, but that is a plus 634 opportunity if you want to sprinkle on that. If you want to get involved in that, you can also use that $20 if you want from BetMGM with a new account and roll it out there and win $160 if it hits. Or you could win, or I guess it would be $120, right? Either $120 if you win or $100 if it doesn't. With BetMGM and that promo code JUICE100. Okay? All right, 2 plays, half a unit. My Red Sox. And this is where I'm going to be a lot here, okay? You guys are going to get sick and tired of me telling you this. You can fade or follow. I'm going to bet my Red Sox a lot when I'm forced backs against the wall and I've got to get involved and I have to bet. I bet the Red Sox most every day anyway. So, it's not they're playing the Phillies. This would be something that I would 100% do that. Phillies are going on the road. The Phillies just had a pretty impressive performance last night. Offensively for the Phillies, they've been scoring a lot of runs. And you had Brad Miller hit 3 home runs for the first time in his career. Phillies routed the Cubs 8-0. Cubs the wheels are off for the Chicago Cubs right now. Like we've been talking about, everyone's been going, what's wrong with Chicago? But Boston comes in here. And you've got a hot-hitting team in Philadelphia, and you've got Garrett Richards on the mound for Boston. Garrett Richards, he's really up and down, okay? He's pitched okay his last 2 times out. Against Oakland, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Exit velo of 84.5. It's pretty good. Time before that, Royals, he gave up 11 hits, 5 earned runs, gave up 3 home runs in that game. Exit velo only at 88.6, but 3 home runs he given up in that game. Time before that, though, and really a bunch of times before that, exit velo was just really not good. 94, 96, 96, 95, 93. He was, before the last 2 starts, and maybe it's the Royals and Oakland, it's their lineups, because the hitting lineups of the Rays, Atlanta, Toronto, Yankees, Houston, right? Atlanta. Those were the starts. Those are all hit lineups that are pounding the baseball. What are the Phillies doing right now? Phillies are pounding the baseball. Phillies scored 15 runs against the Cubs, 13 runs against the Cubs, 8 runs against the Cubs. They lost 8-3 2 nights ago, but they're scoring a lot of runs. The Red Sox, on the other hand, are going to have an opportunity here to face a pitcher in Vince Velasquez, who is only okay. He's 3-3 with a 4.50 ERA. I went to this guy's a shutdown starter by any means. Red Sox over with the Phillies. Over first 5 is set at 5.5 runs. I'm going over here. Last time out for Velasquez, the Padres got him for 5 earned runs. Now, time before that against the Marlins, who can't hit anybody, They didn't score anything off him. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs. But time before that, against Washington, he gave up 4 earned runs. Against the Giants, time before that, gave up 3 earned runs. So I need 3 runs from Vince Velasquez giving up, and I need 3 runs from Garrett Richards giving up here on a Friday night at Fenway. Red Sox coming off of a couple of losses to the Angels, didn't score all that much. So I'm hoping for some home cooking for the Red Sox, get back to Fenway Park, scoring some runs. Over 5.5 runs in the first 5. Red Sox Phillies at minus 134 is the first play of the day. And the second play of the day, we're going back to that Orioles game involving the White Sox and the Orioles. I just told you about Dallas Keuchel and the way Dallas Keuchel has been pitching. Not great, okay? Last time out, gave up 7 earned runs. Time before that against Seattle, gave up 2 earned runs. Time before that, 6 runs were scored. 3 of them were earned. He's been okay. And Lopez has just been a disaster. 4 earned runs, 5 earned runs, 2 earned runs, 5 earned runs, 5 earned runs in his starts over the last 5. The Orioles are offensively, they're pretty good. Defensively and pitching-wise, they're horrible. Over 5.5 runs in the first 5, White Sox and the Orioles is minus 118. We're taking that for a half a unit, all right? So we're going with offense in a big way here today on a Friday for the parlay and for the 1 unit in play here for a Friday's Daily Juice. Again, here we go with the parlay. Over 8.5 runs, over 9.5 runs, over 10.5 runs. Over 8.5, Angels Mariners. Over 9.5, Royals Indians. Over 10.5, White Sox and the Orioles at plus 634. Don't bet a parlay if you want to play it. My plays for today, over 5.5 runs, Red Sox, Phillies, first 5 at minus 134, and over 5.5 runs, first 5 for the Orioles and the White Sox at minus 118. Those are the plays for us on a Friday. Be sure to come back on Saturday morning. A big, big podcast for UFC 264. Boy, it's going to be wild. I cannot wait. It's going to be incredible. Let's get after it. Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier 3. I'll be at the weigh-ins later on today. Looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are back tomorrow morning here for the Daily Juice podcast. Hit subscribe if you haven't done so as of yet. Discord channel link on YouTube is right below me, or bettingpros.com/chat to get into the Discord channel. My name is Matt Perrault. Join us every single morning right here on bettingpros.com, brought to you by BetMGM.